Hello, everyone. We are here with horror icon Lin Shaye, and she has a film coming out called Scared to Death. And Lynn, how are you?
I'm good, and I'm very glad to be here and say hi to everybody
Uh,
and be
so,
trying to scare you to death.
okay, so I had the best time watching Bitchy Lin Shaye. That was
Thank you.
so much fun. That was so much fun. But what drew you to the role of Max in Scared to Death? And was it the script, the character? What was it?
It was kind of all of it. I mean, I did love having the opportunity to look good and play bitchy.
Yeah.
It's also, I usually play pretty heavy character roles, and which I love. I mean, that's part of the reason I'm an actress. But there was something nice about being able to wear hot red lipstick and boots and stilettos and smoke a cigarette and be kind of a bad girl. And I was hoping I could pull it off. I mean, I thought, what if people don't buy it? But the story was, I thought, very. I think through the story, it all worked. And it was very important to me that she not just be that, but that there be another something that she was hiding too. I mean, the phone call getting out of the limo, out of the SUV or whatever,
Ah,
was the first place that you see her struggling
yeah.
to get what she needs. I think that's very important in playing bad characters. I mean, if you really want to have any dimension, because nobody's really bad. We're created by circumstances usually. I mean, I suppose there's bad genes. I don't know, if we want to get into that conversation. But I think it's important as a character to be able to see both sides of who she is and why they are the way they are.
Yeah, that was actually leading into my next question. It was like, who is Max? Like at the core. Is she dangerous or vulnerable or, you know?
I think she's all those things. She has power to be dangerous in terms of her work because she can fire people and make them miserable. And but I think she's also, which is I think is the truth with most people, you become a bitch or mean not because you're genetically altered, but you're getting back at something that happened to you when you were vulnerable and you let someone damage you in some way. And I think Max has some of that in her, and um, that she kind of learns a little bit more about herself through I'm just blanking on the lead character's name. Well,
Jasper.
his Jasper. Thank you.
That's right.
I've been gratefully I've had some other movies since then. I didn't think of everybody else. Yeah, the Jasper. She learns something through him, and actually they end up sort of befriending each other in a certain kind of way. I think the film has very got a lot of dimension to it that wasn't necessarily always on the page, but
Hmm.
because of Jasper and because of the way we work together, and we discussed, with the director, of course, with Paul about those dimensions. So it isn't just the bad boss and the vulnerable kid, who's no good at something. So I hope that's what you
No,
received from
no,
it.
I mean, but you always bring a lot to a character, whether it's comedy or horror or something like that. Um, you always bring the dimension. But one of my things that I've always wanted to ask you is, you know, you keep coming back to horror, and what is it about this genre that still excites you when you step into a role?
I think it's the switches, the dichotomy of, like, if it's someone that does something evil, like what makes that happen. Um, I must say, I just love creating character. It doesn't have to, and that horror, sometimes a film where you don't think there's going to be any, you find those moments too. And I think in a horror film, you also find those moments again of what we're saying, like trying to justify why are you acting that way and why
Mm,
what and then of course there's the supernatural aspect, which is always fun because we don't know anything really about any of it. We kind of have all had experiences of some kind, whether you
yeah.
believe or you don't believe, and that it's fun to tamper with that a little bit, to play with that of what's making you do something or what is that you feel that you don't know what it is. So I'm drawn to the unknown also.
Have you ever had any crazy experiences, any paranormal experiences that you were like, huh?
Um, A couple, yeah, but not a whole lot
Yeah.
actually. Um, I had a flying dream once. This an out of body experience, which was crazy, where I was on my ceiling looking down at myself, and I was
Wow.
that was it gives me chills even still to talk about it. That was scary to me
Wow.
because I kept going. I don't want to fall down because I was
Yeah.
afraid I was on the ceiling, and I kept going. Don't fall down. What's holding me up, kind of thing.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
had that happen, and I once had a woman sitting at the foot of my bed when when I woke up. I mean, there was just a woman sitting there, and I had no idea who it was. And I kept saying, "Am I awake or am I asleep? Am I dreaming or what?" And she just it was just very benign. But
Hmm.
to this day I have no idea. It was no one I recognized. It was no one I. Um, and then she just disappeared. She,
That is so
she,
crazy.
she
Yeah,
sat. Anyway,
I've
so
had similar things like that happen to me, but the Hat Man, I owe him $5. But anyway, the
but we don't. There's so much we don't know that you'd be a fool to think, "Oh, I don't believe in that."
right, exactly, to just rule it out simply because you can't physically see it.
Right?
Um, do you like how in horror you go through these emotional extremes? Is that freeing or is that exhausting?
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both because you can manufacture it to a certain point to get the effect that you want for film, but the actual experience, your body doesn't know you're pretending often, and there's physical ways to work yourself up into an emotion. Actually, a wonderful director named Mark Rydell, who I worked with at the Actors Studio, he said, "You want to get angry?" He said, "You want to really get angry?" He said, "Go to a closet door and try and open it the wrong way, and just keep trying to open it the wrong way." And he said, "You will get angry. I guarantee you. You're going to sweating. You're going to start swearing."
Oh
And
my God.
but it was like an actor's trick, to make you work yourself up into a frenzy physically, because your body doesn't know you're pretending. Your
That's
body. So
that's
for all
amazing.
those actors out there, get to that
And
closet door as soon
yeah.
as possible.
So with all in my I guess my last question is with all your experience in horror, what is it that still scares you? That
Oh,
actually scares you?
not knowing my lines.
The actor's
That's,
nightmare.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I had it happen actually, and it was the scariest thing that ever happened to me.
Oh,
Um, I mean, it's just like, I mean, I still, I can, because it wasn't that long ago. And it was just like, you could have told me I was in Costa Rica on an elephant, and I would have thought, yeah, that's right. I mean, I I did something. I'm going to say it. I don't hope I'm not blowing the my cool here, but I asked for it. I said, tell me the lines, because I'm gone. I just
yeah.
disappeared,
Yeah, you
and
blanked.
I put in. I said, just give me an earpiece. Just put it here. Put here.
Yeah.
Just put it right there. No one will ever see a thing. And it went perfectly. And apparently the scene is fabulous. But
Uh,
it took fear is the worst. Fear is the worst, is the worst, is the worst. And I don't even, to this day, haven't been as confident as I am sometimes. It's always scary.
yeah.
And I have to embrace that, because that's also part of my work.
Yeah.
I have to be able to be afraid.
Yeah.
And this was a somewhat humiliating experience for me, though. I'm being very vulnerable to all my fans who are listening, but you can't be afraid of that either. It's okay to even be humiliated. You have to be everything we are.
Hmm.
And humiliation comes from the desire to do better. And that's a wonderful thing to feel. So, it gets me very emotional just talking about it. But it's important. It's very important, not just for actors, but for in your life living. You want to be able to embrace everything you're made of, and and respect it, because
Hmm.
that you have to respect yourself.
Yeah.
And so good. I got through it. I did what I needed to do to get through it, and I got rewarded because it was great. So there.
There you go.
That's
You
your answer.
delivered. Lynn, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. One of my favorite stories I still remember from another interview that you told me was how you dressed your son up as a gummy mummy.
Oh my God.
I thought that was the cutest story ever. But But I have to wrap this up because we're running out of time. But
Well, hopefully we'll speak again
I
another
I hope so
time.
too. You're amazing.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
but everyone, again, what are you going to say? Lin Shaye and Scared to Death comes out March 13th, Friday, March 13th.
Friday,
Everybody.
March 13th at a theater near you. Go be scared to death.
That's right, damn it. Okay. Thank you so much, Lynn. I'll talk
Thank
at you later.